my queen, my queen. Oh, beautiful, wonderfully made. She's heaven's angel, so strong, even in struggle, yeah. When life comes like a storm from every angle, she rises above it all, the backbone of every home. Nothing compares to all she do. The true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah. Where would we be without you? You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama. Yeah. And Jesus too. Oh, she's sophisticated, strong, simply amazing, humble, honest, and helpful, educated, ebony, eccentric, empowering. She's a queen, she's a queen.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation.
Hello, 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 hello. This is R.C. Blakes, and once again, I'm thoroughly excited and thrilled to be able to share with you today. I'm coming to you today out of a hotel room, so I don't have my lighting, I don't have all of my stuff that I'm accustomed to working with, but we're going to make it happen, right? We're going to do what we got to do. I want you to invite some others to come in and to be a part of this discussion today, because I want to deal with something today that I think is going to directly hit at the core of how we can begin to make our relationships better. And in today's discussion, I'm talking from the perspective of how a woman can make certain shifts that will empower her man to be able to fully express himself in a loving way. And here's the actual title. Are you preventing your man from loving you fully? Are you not getting everything you think you deserve and or need from your man? And could you be a major contributing factor? Are you blaming your man for coming up short in certain areas where maybe it's certain unknown behaviors that you're doing that are cutting him off at the knees? Now, I don't want you to shut me down and back off from this, because if you're going to trust me to speak to your empowerment as a pastor, as a teacher, as a father, a big brother, uncle, whatever, however you may see me, you're going to have to be able to sit through some of these difficult conversations, because I get a chance to see it from both perspectives. And I already know that there are going to be a lot of you, as I go through the list, you're going to be in the comments talking about, and men too, and men too. This is already understood. This conversation today is about things that women are doing, a lot of women are doing, many women are doing, that things that are destroying and prohibiting otherwise great relationships from going the distance. And now, mind you, just for the sake of those of you that might be triggered, I'm not talking about men that don't do their job. I'm not talking about dishonorable, disrespectful, unfaithful men. I'm talking about the seven things that I'm going to list for you today are things that women do or don't do in the lives of men that are deserving of the best she has to offer. But for whatever reason, she's coming up short and she's preventing him from really tapping into the fullness of his love for her because of these things. Now, the queen conscious woman, I want you to hear this, is always capable of cultivating her man. You know, we live in a day and a time now where everybody's searching for the high value man, the high value woman, and we have different definitions of what that actually means. Everybody wants a whole package. Everybody wants, a man that is completely put together. Everybody wants a woman that's completely put together, but there's such a thing as a high value couple. It's the thing that God created in Genesis where the two work together and were to maximize together. Now, granted, I hear you saying, well, what do you mean? Because I can't make a man. I don't promote that. You're never supposed to make a man, but you're supposed to always be able to help a man. You can't give a man a vision. You can't give him a grind, a work ethic. You can't give him a relationship with God. You can't give him morality, or fidelity. But there are things that you can assist him with, that you can bring into this man's life that can help him to become the best version of himself in business, in ministry, in life, and especially in terms of his relationship with you. Because queens are always capable of cultivating their men. Sometimes you don't see the best of a man until he lands in the arms of the right woman. A woman that knows how to love him. Because what happens is we teach one another how to love each other. The man teaches the woman how to love him by the way he treats her, and the woman teaches the man how to love her by the way she treats him. So, sometimes what we're getting or not getting from the other party is a reflection of a deficiency within us, while we view it as a deficiency within them. But sometimes you have to give a person the seed of what you ultimately need from them. So let's get into this discussion. I have 7 things that I've outlined. Number 1, reason, a list of things that you might be doing that may be preventing your man from loving you fully. Number 1, when you're indifferent to good treatment. When a man does his best to treat you well and you handle it as though it's no big deal. He bends over backwards, he breaks the bank for you and you're indifferent to it. It doesn't even move you. He puts flowers on the nightstand for you and you barely even notice them. You've gotten so accustomed to him bringing flowers that he can bring a new couple of dozen in every week and you don't even notice it. Or he can go out of his way to make certain that he buys you special gifts and you may shrug your shoulders. That's nice. You've become indifferent to good treatment. I like what Isaiah chapter 5 verse 20 says. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, but put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. In other words, you've gotten to this neutral zone where you're kind of indifferent, nothing really matters. And, You're not really moved by anything. Nothing is too good, nothing is too bad. You're just kind of indifferent. But when a man treats you like a queen and you look over it, like you don't see it, or like you're entitled to it, um, what you don't realize you're doing is you are reprogramming that good man's heart to stop the behavior that you're indifferent to. So if he's opening doors, if he's talking to you kindly, and he's a gentleman, and he's loving, and he's home on time, and he's faithful, and you're indifferent to all of that, none of that really excites you. None of that really matters that much to you. You are programming that man to stop that behavior. Or if not stop the behavior, you're programming him to move on to a woman that appreciates it. Because whatever is celebrated will be duplicated. And, we as men, hey, all we are, to be quite honest with you, are we're really just big boys, honestly. The same way sons need, the accolades of the mother, and your husband needs the same thing. Your man needs the same thing. He needs to know that you see that he's doing good, because we do what we do, quite honestly, to impress you. Most of what I do, man, is to impress Lisa. I want to hear Lisa say, "You're a great husband, you're a great father, you're a great provider, you're a good man." I want to hear her say that. And when I don't feel like I'm hearing that enough, I'll ask, "Am I a good man?" Ask her. I will ask, "Am I a good man? What do you think? What do you think?" Because every man needs to hear that. Every man needs to know that when he's doing good, it is recognized by the person that matters most. And when you're indifferent to good treatment, you train your man, to do otherwise. Because here's the real deal, and tell me if I'm lying. If a man does wrong, now a man does right, may or may not be recognized, may or may not be celebrated. More times it's not going to be celebrated than it will be celebrated. But if a man does wrong, it will be recognized and it will be condemned immediately. The Facebook community is going to know about it. The in-laws are going to know about it. The neighborhood, the church, the pastor, everybody's going to know if a man does wrong. So the same energy that you give to a man that does you wrong, why can't you flip it and reverse it and give that same energy in the positive to a man that does you well? Because you're going to have to, you empower your man to go greater and to become even better to you when you're, just not like, well, whatever, it doesn't matter, that's nice. No, that's nice. I mean, I spent my last on this. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make certain that I do the very best I can do for you. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. It's cool. All right. See, men are built to impress, specifically to impress their women. And when a man feels like, hear this, this is wisdom. When a man feels like he can't impress you, he stops trying. When a man feels like he cannot impress you, when you're indifferent to everything he does and it doesn't matter to you, he stops trying. So you'll see the habits that he had started developing that you never really celebrated properly. He'll begin to fall off of those one by one by one by one. And what happens is you break him down to your level of recognition and appreciation. So since you're not going to recognize, since you're not going to acknowledge, me bending over backwards to try to do good, I'll just give you the bare minimum. since I get the same kind of appreciation for it anyway. And you'll be amazed at how many women have great men that are doing their best, man, to be the best man they can be, but they just have women that are just not wise enough to pay attention. You just got this thing in your face all day long, and you're just looking at this thing all day long, and you're not even paying attention to the fact that you have a man that's literally sacrificing himself to try to be the best man he can be for you, and he's giving you all he got, and you're handling it like it's a salami sandwich or something. You break that man down to a place and to a point where he gives you the bare minimum. He matches his production level begins to match your appreciation level. Now, number two, are you preventing your man from loving you fully? In other words, are you getting the best you can get from your man? Or are you getting bare minimum? A lot of women are not getting the best because they're making these mistakes I'm listing. Number one, we said, is to be indifferent to good treatment. You will always get less than the man's best when you're indifferent to good treatment. Number two, when disrespect is rendered for meekness. When disrespect is rendered for meekness. In other words, when a man is a meek man, a gentle man, and a thoughtful man, and it only produces disrespect in his woman for him, you shift something in that man. Because when a man is meek, he's simply listen to this very carefully, he's putting his aggression away because of love and respect. It's not that that's not in him. It's just that he has love and respect for you. So he walks meekly with you. And the sad part is that many times women move on to relationships before they've healed from the trauma of the last clown that abused and misused them. And so now you have a good man that respects you and lives meekly with you, and you're talking to him sideways. You're calling him out of his name, and you running up on him like you're a dude. But you didn't do that to the last 3 or 4 abusers that were in your life. Now, this guy is not an abuser. This guy is a meek guy. But you disrespect him because you don't realize your soul has been so broken, you don't even know how to receive a healthy man. And so, because he's so different than what you're accustomed to, even though what you're accustomed to always hurt you and left you in tears, it's where your soul has been set. This is why your mind has to be renewed. Somebody has to have this conversation with you, because you're about to run a good, healthy man off and find yourself back in the same position on the same level of your brokenness with another clown that will abuse you again. And the sad thing again is that you gave the clown the respect because he was aggressive and abusive. And you don't realize that that has become your dysfunctional norm. Now you have a meek man, and you're disrespecting him because you're taking his meekness for weakness. But a true depiction of what meekness is, it's that it's the alpha male lion that goes out into the jungle and defeats another full-grown male lion with his fangs and with his claws. And that same alpha male lion returns to the pride with blood all over his mane from just killing another lion. And he sees one of the cubs that's gotten a little too far away from mama. And with those same fangs and that same bloody mane, he picks that little cub up with his fangs and gently carries that cub back to its mother and drops it off. The same fangs. He's not weak in that moment. He's meek in that moment because these same fangs just got through destroying another full-grown lion. Well, a lot of times you have a man that has all of that in him, and you think he's weak because he doesn't cuss you out. You think he's weak because he doesn't put his hands on you. You think he's weak because he's not matching that toxic energy that you bring, when you have one of your episodes. And you don't realize that the disrespect you're bringing to this good man for his meekness is not going to end well, because broken consciousness has in a woman has subconsciously made modern women, watch this, turned off by stable and mild-mannered men. This is where I always deal with y'all about this type stuff. My type. If it's not my type, it's not my. You've been getting your type for 20 years. What has it gotten you? Huh? I can give you a list, but I'm gonna let you figure it out for yourself. Because the broken consciousness of the modern woman is turned off by stable and mild-mannered men. And even men testify that their women often treat them like more of a responsibility than a joy when they're stable. It's like you're tolerating, you're not celebrating, you're tolerating. So when they are in the least bit, the same man testifies that when he's in the least bit unpredictable or gets a little unstable or gets a little aggressive, the same woman shifts into kindness. That's a broken soul. And so a lot of men have to leave women because for them to stay with a woman would mean that they will fundamentally have to change their constitution, which is not to be aggressive and unstable, but to be a mild-mannered, gentle, and stable man. But the woman he's with will only treat him properly if he's unstable. So men testify that bad treatment, to give a woman today many times bad treatment, is the only way to get her to treat him properly. When he treats a woman well and is faithful and is predictable and is stable, she says he's boring. So there's some work that has to be done, many times. And again. I mean, I could do this very same lesson and flip it relative to how I talk about that all the time, how the behaviors of men prevent their women from giving them their best. But we're talking about the women today. Now, the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 27, verses 15 and 16, it says, "A constant dripping on a day of steady rain and a contentious, quarrelsome woman are alike. Whoever attempts to restrain her criticism might as well try to stop." The wind and grasp oil with his right hand. Now, the question is, when you read this, a contentious and quarrelsome woman. So I hear some women saying, well, sometimes I got a reason to fuss. I got a if you got a reason to fuss and to be quarrelsome every day, you probably don't need to be in that relationship. But there are a lot of times that you're quarrelsome because you're disrespectful. And the man is meek and mild, and you're misreading his meekness for weakness. You see, a real man is not going to cuss you out. He's not going to put his hands on you. He's going to get his grip. See, like my suitcase is right there, ready to get out of here tomorrow. He gonna get his grip, and he out of there. He's not gonna put his hands on you like your previous dudes did. So all of this fussing and fighting, you're not gonna get your dysfunctional norm to manifest. Not in this man. you're going to simply lose this guy. And then it's going to be some time later that you're going to realize what you had, but it's going to be gone. So the question again is, are you preventing your man from loving you fully? We said what? Number one, women create this by being indifferent to good treatment, by disrespecting meek men. When a man is meek and self-controlled and stable, women many times disrespect him. Number three, when you are so much of a boss, and I am the guy that speaks to the empowerment of women. I write books, I have courses, I do seminars, I do conferences. I'm the guy that speaks to the empowerment of women. If there's anybody that wants you to boss up and reach your full potential and don't let nobody stop you, I'm that guy. But there's a balance. Sometimes you've become so much of a boss, you don't have a role for a man to play. Oh, I got to pause right there for y'all to just think about that. Sometimes you have bossed up so much, you are bossing everything. You don't create space. You don't really need a man. It's like you have made